Yeah, we back. This is the conspiracy. You know, a lot. We got our theories, we got our thoughts, we got things we believe. A lot of people read different books. A lot of people did different research, different studies. You know, Jimmy's elder here, and all of us are grown men, though. So we just gonna have healthy conversation. Last show kind of got thrown off the rails, but we here now. We got the big show. Introduce.
Good.
We got B Rabbit, y'all know him. We got Big Jimmy, y'all know him. We got KB, and he made his appearance on the last show. And you know, a lot of knock going down. So we had the question. First of all, how's everybody doing? Let's start. Let's
We're all good, brother.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Blessings, brother. We
we,
good. Everybody's safe. Everybody's healthy.
Yes, sir. Do we need to review the last show, or do we just move on?
I think we just got to move on.
We just move on because we got today's a new show, new foot. Everybody's clean. Everybody's ready to go. Let's go with the first question, Muto. Whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir. Now it's just a lot of nobody really knows the answers to this. I don't think but as far as the pyramids, the Great Pyramids in particular, of Giza, there's a lot of details involving those pyramids. A lot of crazy stuff, unexplainable things. And we got kind of to it on the last show about who created the pyramids. Was it extraterrestrials? Was it humans? And we just want to get into that and explore that a little more. Jimmy, let's start with you about the topic, please, sir, because you've been
Okay, I'm going to ask everybody a question. Does anybody have any idea of how many pyramids are in Egypt?
It's over. I believe it's over 54.
No, it's not. It's
That they
118.
discovered.
No, it's 118. And does anybody know where the first pyramids came from? Now, it was Kush, which was first Sudan, which is now Sudan, has over 255 pyramids. They're nothing to the size of the Giza pyramid, which Khufu was the son of Snafu, who created the tilted pyramid. So what they were doing in Kush was creating a 60-degree pyramidic angle. The first one that started that was Yosa, and that was the Saqqara pyramids, which was the step pyramids. They were built in 2780. The Kush pyramids were built in the 27th century BC. So they were the first pyramids. But Dozer started the fight between the pharaohs. It was a contest. And yes, it was man-made because we have proof, undeniable proof of the quarries. We have undeniable proof of the 20,000 workers that worked on the Giza pyramid, which were 90% Egyptians. We found the sleds, we found the rope, we found the twine, we knew how they cut it with copper line, water, and sand. So nobody's going to tell me that an alien came in and fucked up on Snafu's pyramid and said, oh shit, we got the angle wrong. It'll never hold it and suppress it. So let's bring it to a 43-degree angle. Now, not only was I in Egypt twice, but I took 2 major courses on ancient archaeology and ancient history in Rome and Egypt. And nobody realizes to this day that Khufu was an evil pharaoh. But he wanted to build a pyramid after Snafu fucked up with his pyramid in Dusha, which are the second pyramids to Dozier. Those pyramids, he created, hey, I didn't like this. We fucked up on the angle. Let's make it again. First of all, none of the pyramids are perfectly in a line. They were to align to the 4 points of the compass, of the Egyptian compass, which never held the north line.
True north,
right. It never held the true north line. That's very true. And I apologize for that. I meant to say that, but I'm got so much in my head. So the Giza west wall is longer than the other walls. So that pushes out the idea that aliens did it, because we have proof of the quarries where they cut the stones of and how they cut it. When they were splitting large rocks, they saw the striations through the shield, one guy at a time. Now you're talking about 20,000 people pushing stones. We have documented proof from canisters to where the workers, they created a village for the workers. They were well taken care of, but we found documentation. They made us put in 350 stones a day. That's how strict they were. Khufu was he killed people on the line if you weren't working hard. He was just a tyrant of a person. But he was the son of Snafu, and he wanted a bigger pyramid. So it was really who has the bigger dick syndrome. There was no alien intervention anywhere, and pyramids weren't built tens of thousands of years ago. The oldest pyramids are in Kush, and they were developed the 27th century BC. It's very simple. So these pyramids are a little bit under 4,800 years old. And that's a fact, man. We have archaeology records. We also know that they went from formulating it into small block into large caissons. And the Romans, if there was alien intervention or radio waves or all the nonsense they're coming up with, why did the Romans make ramps and scissors and send these things across the Mediterranean when they stole the obelisks? So yeah, it's ingenuity. It's the first relationship with humans to geometry. This was the first basic rules of hypotenuse. They were basically creating this as they went, and they were developing it as they went. So you can imagine the magnitude of these people's knowledge and their focus. And every culture at the time, even through the Mayans, through Indonesia, to wherever you see these pyramids, they were all looking for the stars and reaching the stars. So it's not like, it's not the planetary alignment, which is the seven Illuminati. This doesn't make sense. We have actual proof, archaeological proof, that they excavated the land. There's millions and millions of striations into the fucking limestone and the alabaster that they took the rocks from. And we also have the carts. We have proof of all this. And this is why I was trying to explain to you the other day when someone had said 10,000 years old. No, the pyramids are not at all. They weren't even developing since maybe the beginning of Egypt, which is maybe 52 BC, 52nd century BC. So they were learning all this geometric formations. They were creating this. And they also took it from the Kush, which is now Sudan. They took that idea, just the way Rome took the ideas of Egypt and everywhere else, and made it their own. Okay. And that's basically it, bro.
Okay, heard you. That's Jimmy, that was the beginning, the intro on the topic. Jimmy said it all. Now let's get in KB. Let's hear what KB. Actually, let's get into B Rabbit. Jimmy just did 7 minutes, so we're gonna time everybody. But go ahead, B Rabbit.
Don't put me on some 8 Mile shit here. I mean, you come with a lot of facts. I'll give you that. You absolutely do. But we don't know why people, make up stories and fill in names and shit. So, I mean, you've been educated, but there's one thing we can actually know is that the education system these days preaches shit that didn't really happen. And I mean, we know that's a fact. We know it's a fact. So how are they going to tell me what was built 2,700 years ago? I don't believe that all pyramids were built by, I'm not going to say aliens, but at least older generations. I think it's a lot older than they think it is. I think it's a lot older. I think the Egyptians found it and then they carved shit out in it and, fucked it a little bit on the inside. But I don't think they even understand what the thing's for. I don't even think they understand what that's for. I believe they found it. They came across it and then they modeled most other pyramids off of it, and they couldn't fucking do it right at first. But when you were talking about how it doesn't align to true north, each corner aligns to a true heading on a compass, north, south, east, and west, within a half an inch of a mistake. That's pretty fucking amazing. It doesn't read.
Well, they did it with sticks and ropes, bro.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, if you're going to tell me that next it was built by slaves, that's fucking crazy. That shit was not built by unskilled workers. That shit was definitely built by at least 5,000 to 10,000 skilled workers, and they probably had another 5,000 to 10,000 in reserves, pulling shit around and breaking shit off, taking it off the river. Because I've seen that whole thing, and I mean, it's quite possible it is, but I don't know. The striations on the side of the rock, I didn't see that. The cut marks, I haven't really seen that. I have seen where they've drilled out basically holes, not only here, but even down in South America, where they have the same temples that they say were built even older than the ones in Mexico, or could have been the same time. And the one at what? It's not Machu Picchu. The other one is the same fucking size as the Great Pyramid. It's just not as tall, but it's a lot bigger. On takes a lot more space. I just don't see I don't think that the Egyptians can claim to fame on this one, like, you know, just before the turn of the century. Plus, it's antediluvian. You have to consider the flood situation. Like, if you're going to say the thing could survive the flood, then there's no problem. It could definitely have come from earlier than that. If they said that
What flood?
The biblical flood, like that's what they refer to as antediluvian, means it's the flood.
I understand about antediluvian, but why are you bringing up the Great Flood when there was no Great Flood that they said it was?
I'm just saying, if there was,
you got a couple more minutes.
2 minutes, give me 2 minutes. If there was a Great Flood, a lot of people argue that these would have been destroyed and taken out and ruined, but I don't think they would have. I don't know. It's just an opinion. You know, I mean, like again, it's up in the air. Like, I don't even know if we went to the fucking moon. I'm not going to say what the Egyptians did or did not do. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Plus, there's like a lot of bullshit when you find out about these pyramids and all these things. Like, they said so much shit, and it was just taken for fucking granted that that's what it was, and they taught that. And now they find out every day that that's just not true. But they're not willing to change it up because people have made careers off this shit. Like that guy, Dr. Paul Watts. He will never admit that anything is not funny with that shit. I don't know. I know
you're saying I don't know. I only talk facts.
Saying, I don't know. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in anything.
I don't understand. We have proof of the quarries. We have proof of the workers.
I've seen that whole theory.
We have documented letters from the people that did it, and I never said there were slaves. What there was 80 to 90% Egyptian people that were well taken care of during that. And Imhotep built Giza. Amenhotep built the car. Okay, these were engineers that were discovering geometry, and they were understanding the angles. They took the angles from Kush, as I said. They weren't the inventors. The Kush people, which is now Sudan, were the first people in the world to create that. And we have documentation, bro. There's canisters of letters stating dates.
I'm definitely
in the hieroglyphic
on the Egyptians built the pyramids, but that's just what I think. Now let's get into KB, Jimmy. Let KB get his 10, and then we get back to you.
What's going on, fellas? I just want to say this. You guys can hear me clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I just want to say this. You know, what you get on Wikipedia and the internet, just like you said, is not true. There's pyramids all over the world. It's actually a pyramid in St. Louis right now that's older than the Giza pyramid and actually bigger than the Giza pyramid. And it's a lot of pyramids in North America that we don't talk about. It's a lot of pyramids in Japan that we don't talk about, that submerged, right? So I think that the culture of Masons that built these pyramids, right? That it was all over. It was a natural thing. Just like how you see right now, you see us building all these buildings. And if you go to any other city, you see the same type of buildings. These buildings are not made to last a long time because of the society we live in now is about commerce. Back then, it was a different type of society where you know you build things to stand the test of time, to show that you built this, so it can never be miscrupulated. But in a sense, we have to look at who's saying this stuff about the pyramids, right? Because 9 times out of 10, it's like, you know, let me say this. I worked in a demolition company, chief estimator, multi-million-dollar projects. Now, it's things that are like 8 tons that can't be lifted with 4 machines, right? So it's virtually impossible to ravel rope and to pull pull tons and tons and tons of stones, right? So it's a technology that's lost, and it has and how we keep honestly thinking that they built pyramids with chisels and picks, and no, it's not true. Right now, in today's time, right, we're building things out of stone with machines, like 3D printed machines that are carving and structuring our existence now. A lot of people just don't know about it. And I think that we all saying good things about what this possibility or that possibility, right? But in a sense, me personally, I don't believe that we're talking about just Egypt when you have the whole Africa that was pyramids all through it, and the mainstream media focuses on pyramids in Egypt. And everybody first it was said that it was a tomb, which is not even a tomb, it's a power source. The same way that Nikola Tesla came up with his own power source right here in New York City. And he mimicked what? He mimicked the pyramid in Giza, and he even said it. And that's how he came up with his wireless energy. It's the same thing. It's static electricity that's built up from the lower chamber from water that's flowing back and forth, that's connecting a higher current. And that's the reason why they took the obelisk off the top. And it was said that some of the archaeologists that came across this, they also believed it, and they climbed up to the top of it. And when he climbed up and put his hand up, his hand popped off because of all the energy that went up through it. Yeah. And it's dated, it's documented. But yet, if you go on Google right now, you'll hear all this mumbo jumbo about how, it was built by these people and that people and these people, and you hear all this stuff. But when you go to see it, and you actually see it, right? Like I have, you've seen that, and especially coming from a construction background, you see that. Do you know that each year they actually reface it? They build it up and reface it, and some of the pictures there they scrape out. They do this consistently there.
Okay,
so I think.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, you're good. You're good. Go for it.
No, I'm gonna just say something. Then we're gonna keep going around the panel. They focus on the Great Pyramids. They don't call them the pyramids, the Great Pyramids, because they're fucking great. I mean, certain things about them, the mass, the way that they were built with all the preciseness, the precision of them, and they were still questioning how they were built. They don't question those other pyramids about how they were built. They're questioning the Great Pyramid because there's reasons for that. But let's get into Jimmy, and then we're gonna keep going around.
I don't believe that. Nah.
You guys ever been to Egypt?
Negative.
I'm asking you, have you ever been to Egypt?
Yes.
You've been to Egypt?
Yes. So I've been to Dubai too.
You've been to the museum?
I just answered you.
Okay, so I'm asking, so take it easy.
I just answered you.
I'm asking you a question.
We done. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Let me tell you something. How do you explain all the quarries that were discovered, especially 1,000 feet, when Imhotep said it's better to take the quarry here where there's less consistency? They have proof of the sleds. They have proof of the copper wire. They have proof of the tools chipping the stone. They have proof of the people that did the work. 20,000 people carving and chipping and swarming. And yes, they definitely did pull it. And first of all, radio waves act as a top and a bottom current. So how are they getting it up on the hill and consistently keeping that current? It's absolutely impossible. No, they moved Neapolis by sand and ramps. Yes, that's exactly how they moved it. We have proof of that.
Oh my God.
What do you mean, oh my God? This stuff is documented in hieroglyphics, my friend. No, it's not, oh my God. You're out of your mind to even think that aliens or any kind of anything else had any intervention. No, you aren't saying that. You're saying that.
Say aliens, dude. You're saying aliens.
No, you said aliens.
I never said aliens.
Oh, okay. You didn't say last week aliens built the pyramid. You said last week aliens built the pyramids.
We're talking right now,
I think I said in theories that aliens built the pyramids. I personally
what are you talking about, man?
I'm talking about what you said, bro. I'm talking about what you said.
No, I've never said that.
All right, go back to the last show. Go back to the first show.
About the last
look at it, and then tell me you didn't say that. You said that the pyramids were tens of thousands of years old.
I know. I know. We're talking about right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're contradicting yourself.
Listen to me. Everything you just said, I can Google it and read it on Google.
Bro, you don't Google. That's where you get your information from, Google?
No,
get it
if
from
I can,
Google?
I'm trying to talk, but
I
you,
think
for
I
some
gotta mute up
reason,
now.
you
I think I
keep
gotta mute y'all
talking.
up now. Go ahead, KB. We're gonna go back and
He
forth.
just keeps talking. Yeah.
We don't
What
want
I'm
to turn it
saying is
ugly.
that
Go ahead.
what I'm saying is that one, they just did a study showing that it could not have been chisels and rope because you cannot pull you can't pull 8 tons with chisel and rope. We barely can do it with cables.
Okay, let
We
Jimmy
barely
say
can do it
something.
with cables.
All right,
What are you
Jimmy.
talking about?
Unbelievable.
Jimmy,
Unbelievable.
anything in response?
Yeah, bro. In Egypt, 3 of the museums that are near the Giza pyramid show the sleds and how they pulled it up. And they have a historic thing in hieroglyphics how they did it. You have documentation of workers saying the sleds and the bobs, as they call them, as we pull every day. There's people that are pulling stones and they push it and they throw water and sand underneath to roll off of the glides. They put a honey and a wax on it. Yeah, that's exactly how they did it. No way is radio waves or anybody going hoo and lifting these stones up. These were all hand cut and chiseled. Even the white limestone they finished the outside with the gypsum was all hand cut. And if you were in Egypt, then you would have seen the hieroglyphics and how they put the hieroglyphics into explanation where they show how they built the pyramids.
Okay,
And we have undeniable proof, but yet you're denying the fact that we had quarries and proof of that.
Please let me talk. I just want to say this, man. Listen, one more time, right? They just did a documentary on trying to pull heavy quarries, right? And they couldn't do it. They actually tried to lift them. They actually tried to lift one with 4 machines.
Okay,
and they
what
couldn't
documentary was it so we can look it
they
up?
couldn't get it. I don't remember the name, but they couldn't get it up. They couldn't get it up at all. And this is what I'm saying is that if right now there's a max on what we can do as a civilization right now with the technology we have right now, right? I don't believe they use that. I believe they use something else. I believe that they was more in tune with fractal spirals. They was more in tune with radio frequencies. They was more in tune with a lot of things that we don't even use. If it like I say again, if it wasn't for Nikola Tesla using radio waves, showing us how to use radio waves right now, and he got that from Egypt. So I don't think they was using the technology that you think. Right, and throughout all the scriptures and all the hieroglyphs, you see nothing but sound frequencies. Them using sound frequencies through it. So for them to be so to say that they're like so primitive that they had to get slaves. Remember, each one of these slaves had to be like, they had to know what they're doing. You can't, I mean, they wasn't just there for labor. They had to know exactly how to put the stones. And then on top of that, you're forgetting about all these other civilizations that was there that were like, if we get into like
but
giants.
Who said slaves? I never said slaves.
That's what the general theory is. The general theory is slaves. So because you don't believe that,
it wasn't the general theory.
You're going to quote scripture on
it was the people. So I'm
The
sorry.
The Bible is a bunch of stories. It's not real at all, and I can prove that too.
Okay. So it was the people that went and built this because they loved their pharaohs so much, right? But yet, in reality, in today's time, you got people like just in Japan that's making iPhones that's killing themselves. So you don't think that people there was killing themselves to not try to make it, or was they making it, or was it a different technology that wasn't so bearing on the body? It's like we have to use our mind. If you understand what fractal spirals are, that's what all the ancient buildings are made up from, the mathematics of it, right? And that can't just go to any old person trying to do it. You have to understand what you're doing. Like the Pyramid of Giza doesn't have 4 sides, right? A lot of people keep saying it has 4 sides, but when they did the study on it, how many sides did it have? Did it actually have?
No clue.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that to you, but I'm just saying is that a lot of things that's being said is basically being settled for things you can actually get right off the internet. right? And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that even the people in Egypt don't even look at what they look. They look at it as we come there as a tourist site, but yet the same structures that you see in the buildings is in Mayan temples, right? It's in pyramids in Russia, right? So it's pyramids all over, even more glorious than Egypt. It's just that the mainstream media pushes Egypt all the time.
Well, not
All
only
the
that,
time.
it's when Egypt was
My man, they
discovered.
talk about the Mayan Indians. They talk about Indonesia. They talk
Mayans
about
aren't
all the
Indians.
countries.
Mayans aren't Indians. You can't be Indian.
Bro, what are you talking
Indians are
about? I
from
just said they
India.
talk
And
about the Mayans.
yeah,
Okay,
they're
so
not
I didn't say
Indians.
Mayans are Indians. I never said they were. What are you talking about?
Oh
I
my
said the
fucking God.
Mayans,
Yo,
the Indians, everybody. I'm
Bush,
talking
just
about
mute me.
everybody. I didn't say
Just mute me.
Mayan Indians.
Okay, well,
Just
the
mute me.
latest
Just
on the
mute me.
scientists
Oh,
are
dude,
saying
what
now
the
that
hell?
there's proof that they weren't slaves; they were living, and there was they wanted to be there, basically. You know, as far as the
Exactly. So
archaeologists and stuff like that.
it wouldn't exactly, brother. So it wouldn't be that people are trying to do something because they're like scared and they're trying to build this, and plus they don't even have the knowledge of what they're doing. This was done because they had a certain technology. They had a certain information that's not privileged to us right now. You understand?
Well, I mean,
So for us to actually sit and try to say it, look at the people that are actually saying it that don't even know. Like I say again, I say this and I stand by it. There's people don't want people. We want to talk. We don't actually want to be scientists. We don't want to be explorers. We want to just listen to what's told and then just go from there, right? And it's like common sense will show us that you go take a knife and chisels and try to do it and see what happens.
B Rabbit, any
Well,
words?
how do you think
Exactly.
they carved all the statues today?
They caught
You can't
because the
get
same
anybody
thing.
today to do
I'm
the
gonna tell you.
sculpturing. Excuse me. You
Okay.
can't get
Go.
anybody to
Let
do
me
the
go.
carving and the sculpturings that they did years ago. First of all, we are becoming less and less workers, my friend. So back then, that testosterone was through the roof. And second of all, that's what life was: chiseling and marking and hammering. Yes, that's exactly what it was. And pulling and lucking because
I
they
don't
didn't
agree.
know anything else.
I don't agree.
And they
The
made
reason why-
mistakes
the reason
building
why-
the pyramid. So if you're telling me, so then where was the radio waves and the intervention of this knowledge in snafus,
It shows
mistakes
it
on
shows it in
Puebla's
the
pyramids?
hieroglyphs. It shows it in the hieroglyphs that you went to see. You went to
Yeah,
see it.
it said
shows
how
it in
they
the
pulled it.
hieroglyphs. Did you
Yeah,
go
it
there and
showed
did
how
you
they
see it?
chiseled it. It showed how they cut it.
They
It
never
showed how they
showed that.
chiseled it. And
They
it
never
showed them
showed
how they
that.
moved it.
They never show
No.
that. They show
hieroglyphics that
electricity.
appears that
They show
appears to look like that.
electricity.
Are
They
you
show
serious?
electricity. They show a bulb, right? They show how they use sound waves to make energy. It shows it on the hieroglyphs. So if you think that's not true, I mean,
There
you
is
was
nothing
there.
in the bro. There's nothing in the hieroglyphics that state that. I don't know where you're getting that from. That's absolutely a falsehood. That's absolutely a falsehood.
Okay, so we
Imhotep,
just had thousands.
Imhotep's writings. Yeah, you're
Was
talking
there-
about
was there-
20,000 people. Just think about what I'm telling you.
Okay, I
20,000
understand.
people built
Yeah.
the Giza pyramids.
Okay,
Where,
and-
if
and
you had
how
radio
do they know
waves,
20,000
you don't need
people built
nobody.
how do they know 20,000 people had the
They have
information?
record of it.
Wait.
They have record of it.
So okay, so
They have record of it
okay, so who has records
from
of
the
it?
workers themselves. From the workers themselves, my friend.
So Jimmy,
No.
what year were you in Egypt? And
Yeah, please tell me.
Did you go to the pyramids and stuff?
What do you mean? In 2004, 2007.
Okay, so let me ask you, why you went there?
That's when I stayed in Israel.
No, I'm
I
asking
went
you a
over to
question.
Egypt for a month.
Listen, man, I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
If you can't hear my question if you keep talking, right? So let me talk. Now
I'm not talking.
This
All right, let's
motherfucker.
go, KB.
Yo, listen,
Yeah.
So when you went there, right? What hieroglyphs did you see?
My
and what
man,
did you
I
see?
can't. You're cutting in and out, Mook. It's cutting in and out.
Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
say it again. When you went there, what hieroglyphs did you see?
I'm sorry, I can't. You're cutting in and out.
Okay, what
bro.
hieroglyphs
It's like
did you see
I
when
said
you?
it. I'm gonna say it again. No, no, I'm
yeah,
gonna say
it's
it
like
again.
echoing.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you were there, what hieroglyphs did you see?
The hieroglyphics in the museum at Giza. From Zwawa Aka. Yeah, I was in the museum. And they made
What?
an example of the hieroglyphics on how they established and how many people built the pyramids. They had
No,
documentation
that's
from
not what I'm
workers that
saying.
were doing writings, like
No, no,
have
that's
a
not what I'm
diary.
saying. No, no. What I'm
There's
saying is
thousands and
what
thousands of
that's
diaries.
that's not what I'm saying. I mean, they had thousands and thousands of paper diaries that last that long. Now that's another
Oh,
question.
of course they
But
do.
the first question
Yeah.
I asked was when you went to Egypt and you viewed the pyramid and you seen hieroglyphs,
I'm sorry.
right? Oh my God!
What?
All right, man.
Bro,
Everybody,
you're
can everybody
breaking
hear
up,
me?
man.
Can everybody
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
hear you.
Yo, B-Rap, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yo, Bush, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you.
I'm just hearing.
No, no. Okay,
I'm
okay,
probably
okay,
getting a bad signal, but
okay. No, it's cool, brother. What I'm trying to say is that when you went there, you didn't see any hieroglyphs showing
bro,
anything
I'm not
else.
making sense.
I bet. Okay, no problem.
Now I hear you.
But KB,
No,
he
no, no,
said
no.
he
Of
seen
course,
the
no problem.
hieroglyphs. He said that.
No, I'm saying that what hieroglyphs did he see when he went there? Because if he's seen hieroglyphs
How did
there, if he's seen
I
hieroglyphs
don't read
there,
hieroglyphics,
then
my man.
I didn't say that. I didn't say you. I don't know why I'm sitting trying to explain something or ask a question. Listen. If you feel you know what you
Basically,
know
what we need to get
about,
down to.
if you feel you know what you know about pyramids, and you know, then you know what you know. That's your opinion. But you know, I understand, and
It's
you
not
know,
my
you saw.
opinion. I'm stating facts that I saw
Okay.
and facts from teachers that are archaeologists. And the gentleman that I studied from was living there for 10 years. And he has proven fact because he was two of the guys, which mostly were Americans that studied the Egyptians there, because we had sonar testing, we had the radiation testing, or whatever that charger is, where they found the graves and stuff. That guy found the quarries that proved that it was done. They found sleds that were buried in the chambers of the slaves that were buried with the pharaohs in some of the chambers. They found that in the tomb of Giza. Yes, they found the sleds on how they pulled it. They found ropes. Now, you're talking about 20,000 people. You're not talking about 5 people trying to move a 3-ton stone. You had guys moving and lifting, guys throwing water and sand down. It's a very, very simple
You know, it's just
explanation. And
I
yes, it
think.
can't be done because guys today, you couldn't get to cut a wire and go like this all day, but they were motivated because honestly, there was no television, there was no internet. This was their life. So think about that, my friend.
So my thing is this. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you good now, bud.
All right. So yeah, my thing is this. I think it doesn't matter about whether we look at TV or whether most people don't look at TV. You know, some people do, right?
My man, I'm
I
talking about
think that
things that we have now, they didn't have. That's what
I
I'm
hear what
saying.
you're saying.
It
Let
was
me
simpler.
speak.
There was
I hear
nothing.
what
There
you.
was just,
I hear what you're
that's it.
saying. I hear what you're saying. Let me speak. You keep interrupting me. Why? I don't know why. Let me speak.
I'll explain
So
that in a minute.
All right, go ahead, KB.
Yo, it's mind blowing that he's trying to tell me about Giza.
No, it's all
It's
right.
just mind blowing.
Why
But I'm
is
gonna
that?
let it go. So
Why is that?
I'm gonna let it go. Like I'm gonna let it go.
Why is
So
that?
anyway, so what I'm gonna say is this: is that you know, if the pyramids was built, you know, so long ago, right? And they found rope and everything perfectly preserved and
It wasn't perfectly preserved.
oh man.
But I'm trying to tell you, it wasn't.
Oh man.
It's okay. Because you know, people gonna say stuff, but you just continue because we're hearing you.
Yeah, so yeah, but I'm not going to jump off. I'm not going to jump off. I'm going to keep talking to you guys. I'm not going to jump off the air. So like I was saying, so this stuff is preserved, right? This stuff, the rope is preserved. Everything is preserved, right? It's just mind-boggling once again how just like B-Rap, just like he just said, is that these things are like so easily accessible when they're telling it to us, right? But then when you see other places that are just as old as the pyramids in Giza, but are more right, are well taken care of without anybody preserving it, without anybody digging or anybody doing anything, right? I think that now, I think the pyramids in Egypt is such a tourist site, right? And I think that it's a lot of things that are chipped away and taken down. I remember seeing that there was people there that was going around vandalizing all kind of shit there, right? So for us to like get a date on when something was built or when this happened or that happened, right? We clearly know now that, the pyramids of Giza, it could not have been a tomb, right? Or tell me, was it a tomb?
Yes, it was. It was for
what? So
Nasbu's son, Khufu.
So
it was built for Khufu. Built it. Imhotep was the architect.
Well, they just recently said that it could have not been a tomb. They just recently said this, and they said that it was a power structure. That's what they said. Now you're gonna go against what they said.
Do you understand what happens? Thermal heating. You know about thermal heating, like the ground. You know about.
Who doesn't know about that? I'm in construction.
Let me finish and let me explain to you.
Yeah, I'm doing what you do. Come on. We're talking.
Okay, listen for a second.
I'm listening.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, it's not a tower that was done for radio waves.
No,
when you have hydrostatic pressure and electronic magnetic pressure that comes from the earth, which it does. It is a tomb. That's why you're getting volume, because there's an open chamber. And yes, of course, there's going to be vibrations through the stone through thermal heating. Absolutely proven.
Of course, we know that. But for a tomb.
Yeah, it is a tomb. It was a tomb for Khufu.
And where was the tomb? Because they just discovered that it's not a tomb. It has to be something as a power plant. They just said it.
His tomb was there, and they raided it, and they took.
Nothing was raided from it.
They're not saying a factual thing. That's not a fact. It was the tomb for Khufu. It was built because he wanted it bigger than his father. That's in the hieroglyphics. Snafu, his father, built a tomb that was bigger than the one that they fucked up. Well, actually, the 3 that they screwed up till they got the 43-degree angle properly. And Khufu wanted, I'm going to beat my father. That's in the hieroglyphics. Imhotep had placed that. We have documentation of him, how he structured it, how he angled it, how he watched the sun come up, and then they angled it with a rope and put a stick in, and this is where the tombs will align. Yes, that's all very logical.
I'm just trying to understand it. So they made it they did all of this stuff with sticks and ropes and
absolutely. Do you know how they leveled? The tomb?
I just don't believe this shit.
Yes, they did it with water.
I don't believe this shit.
Okay, so you don't believe they're only 45,000 years old. So I mean,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, because there's pyramids. Like I say again, there's pyramids all over the world, and people like to just keep talking about Egypt.
No, they don't just talk about Egypt, brother.
Right here in America, there's pyramids in America that's bigger than pyramids in Giza.
Well, they're mounds. They're not really pyramids. They're mounds, man.
No way. What are you talking about?
No way.
No, they're mounds.
So
they're
check
mounds
this out.
That were done with sticks and dirt and rock. Yes.
Okay, so there's a pyramid built in St. Louis right now that they destroyed the top half of the pyramid. That in its size, right, was 3 times bigger than the pyramid in Giza. Right now, if you want, you can go and Google it and see.
I don't Google nothing. I'm going to get a fact. I honestly got to tell you, I don't know anything about that, but I'm going to investigate it.
I don't know anything about it. That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter how you look it up. Look at it. And then once you look at it, then tell me that, about the pyramids of Giza. They didn't build that with sticks and ropes and chisels.
No, they
Right?
did it
They
with
didn't do
gypsum
that.
mortar and alabaster and limestone. Yeah, I know how they built it.
So why
So
we
you
can't
guys
build it
don't believe in
again?
carbon
If we know how to
dating,
build it, why we
Bro,
can't build it again?
let me ask you a question. Why would we
Yeah, why
want
we
to
can't
build
build
a
it again?
pyramid? Why would we want to do that?
Why
would
wouldn't we? Because look how long it lasts, and look how long our houses last. What are you
Bro,
talking about?
houses have nothing to do with buildings. The buildings that they build in Manhattan can last thousands of years. They're very structurally sound. They're done with brick and mortar. The mortar is very intense. It's a high-grade mortar. If you know about construction, you know what I'm talking about. Second of all, there is no call for us to build pyramids. Back then, we don't have pharaohs unless you want to build one for Trump, and maybe Trump might want his own pyramid, whatever. But give me a break, man.
Oh my God!
What's oh my God? What's oh my God? It's feasibly it's too expensive. It's too expensive. How are you building a pyramid?
Yo, listen. So there's houses that are built with stone. There's houses that are built with stone that still last. There's castles that are built with stone. The reason why people do it because it lasts forever, right? And that's what the mega rich does, right? Right or wrong?
Well, who is going to build a pyramid? And who is going to build a pyramid? Why would you want to do something so labor intensive? It would cost billions and billions of dollars. For what?
It would cost billions and billions. But how did they do it then? With all these people, they took all the who? All the what? Slaves?
Can I ask you a question? You know about Imhotep? You know about Imhotep?
Yeah, I do. I'm asking you a question.
Because that's all they have, bro. That's all they have.
So where did they get the stone from? Where did the stone come from? Because they said the stone
came from the quarries.
Hold on. Excuse me. They said the stone came from a whole nother place that you can get that type of stone from. That's what they said.
Yes, Saqqara they did.
Okay. So how did they get it all the way there?
Over the Nile River.
No,
That's how they did it on boats.
Listen, okay. I'm glad you said that. Now, a 30-ton stone. How do you get it on the boat?
30-ton stones moved, my friend. There was never no 30-ton stones moved. The stones were 2 to 3 tons, and they showed very easily how they could move them.
They're bigger than that. When you get into the supposed burial chamber, like up the hidden fucking thing, which may not have been exposed when you were even there. And did you go in the pyramid? Did you actually go in the pyramid?
No.
Right,
At the time I was there, they were doing restoration work, and also when there's archaeologists there, you're not allowed to go in and tour anything. So at that time, they had discovered something.
I got it. Okay, I understand.
You said you were there in 2005 and 2007, right? Or 2007, 2010, something like that. So they wound up shutting it down. A lot of it was getting moisture in there, which it obviously hadn't done.
Exactly. There was a lot of situations.
Yeah, but you have to understand also at the time that this was happening and they were building these things supposedly based on, this is just the way you spit it, generalized. No, I mean, look, that's accepted knowledge. That's collegiate knowledge right there. Okay. But I mean, you also have to consider the people that found these things. What do you think these fucking guys out of England, these explorers who went and found and discovered it, you think they're just going to say like, oh, we don't know how it works? No, they came back with a bullshit story and sold it.
Exactly.
They have so much shit, so much information.
What bullshit story?
Like, you don't know what it says. You don't know what it says. You don't know. You have no clue what it says. You're being told. None of us read hieroglyphics.
What do you mean? Exactly. Bro, we're not being told anything. You have scientists. You have
being told everything.
Hey, bro, you know who David L. Silverman is? Excuse me. You know who David L. Silverman is?
I don't care. I guarantee.
Oh, you don't care? Guess what? He's one of the biggest Egyptian archaeologists in the United States.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I'm trying to explain to you. He reads hieroglyphics.
I guarantee that whoever
he was lying to me
is not a person. Is not a person that's in Egypt that lives there.
Oh
everybody
my God,
that's saying it, everybody that's saying all of these things are people that are exploring it and then saying what they're saying. Right?
No, it's the same way guys that studied hieroglyphics. They spent 20 years of their life studying hieroglyphics. What are you talking about?
Right. They spent 20 years of their life studying hieroglyphics. I understand. Right. But you don't hear nobody that lives there saying anything. Why aren't they saying anything? Why are
They
that
do say it.
why is that everybody that comes on TV has a British accent? And that's the one that's saying it. You don't make
That
sense.
is true,
The
though.
people that live there are not
That don't
saying
make
it.
sense.
Because
What are you talking about?
the information,
David L.
because
Silverman lived there for 20 years of his life, my man.
because
What
the
are you talking
information,
about?
he's lived there for 20 years of his life. He's not a native there.
It
Let
What
me
does it
come
matter if you're a
on.
native or not?
You gotta
What does
listen.
it matter?
Okay, no problem. This is all I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that the people that are saying it are people that are capitalizing off of it. It's no
No, they're not.
person there is saying it.
Shows.
Anywhere you go, no person there is saying it because they're not telling the technology. They're not telling
You're telling me
anything.
Mr. Kawhi, the head of the Egyptian Archaeology Society, is lying?
No,
He
I
said
don't
it
think
too.
he's lying.
I'm
I don't
telling
think he's
you.
lying. I don't think he's lying. I think he was taught one certain way.
Exactly.
Oh, come
Come
on,
on,
guys.
man.
Stop the fuck.
Translated tons of
Come
new
on,
shit.
you're out of your mind, bro. That's bullshit. That's a
So
bunch of
who-
bullshit, man. Please.
So why? So let me
Seriously.
ask. Can I
I
ask this? Can I ask this?
I don't understand
Since
why
you
you
know.
would put such great fucking why do you hold them to such great standards? These Egyptians.
That's what I'm
How
trying to
long were they
say.
around? Like,
There's
how long were they
carbon
around?
data
around?
involved in this
Bro,
study.
that's a complete lie. You guys are trying to say that people, because they weren't born there, don't know how to read hieroglyphics.
I didn't say that.
No,
I
that's
didn't say
not
that
what
at
I'm
all.
saying. That's not what I'm
So
saying.
then why are you saying? Then you're saying that they're
What I'm
liars. They
saying
don't know
is
what they're
that
talking about.
what I'm saying is
I
that
said
when
they
you
learned a certain way. They learned a certain way. They
right,
didn't just figure out day one what hieroglyphs mean. They've been studying hieroglyphs since the 1850s when they fucking took all the shit out of these pyramids.
out of it. No
Out
one's
of it.
saying that.
Brought it all back to Europe.
How do you think the Queen of England has everything she has?
There's
You're
so
not even
much
saying
shit
that.
out there. There's
You
some
know,
shit on
so these are all
Nobody was twisting the hieroglyphics because they have proof of the alphabet of hieroglyphics and how they broke down their words. So what are you talking about?
all the Rosetta
They
Stone.
have
Yo,
that
Muta,
also in tablets.
I'm gonna give you something. Remind me to give you something, to show you something. Because like I say again, the native people there don't talk. The people that are on TV saying everything, right, are the ones that are capitalizing off of it.
Yeah, but
The
there's science
people that
behind
live
it.
there, no, the people that live there
Man,
don't.
I just got done telling you, you're not making sense because Kawhi,
Kawhi,
you know who Stephen
I
Kawhi
know
is?
who he
He
is.
runs.
I know
Well,
who he
this is
is.
what I mean. You
I
have
know
the
who he
nerve to
is.
say something. You
I don't have the
Well,
nerve.
then you know
I don't.
he has said this 1,000 times.
I don't have the nerve to say that. What I'm saying is simple. What I'm saying is that he's
No,
an
you're not.
archaeologist. He's a. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay? You're gonna listen now. So what I'm saying is that he's
Check
not
this
even an
guy out, man.
archaeologist. He's a person. He's a person that's on there, right? He's not actually,
He's not an
speaking up for his
archaeologist.
people. He's on a show, right, with other British archaeologists, which you don't think that they're getting paid to say this shit, just like they have pictures and descriptions, just like they have hieroglyphs of planes, of actual planes, right? So you honestly think they got that shit up there, and you want to tell me and degrade and say that they built this shit with chisels and ropes, and they have all this
Yeah,
shit on
that's
the
right. They did.
hieroglyphs.
You mean the aliens? Well,
No
what did
one's
the
saying
aliens
that.
do?
Oh
Say,
my
hey, here.
I
God.
think B. Raz said something
No,
about
yes, you
aliens
are. You're
last-
saying you saw planes. So obviously, if there was an
I didn't say a
intervention
plane.
with
I didn't say I seen
aliens,
a UFO.
explain
I
to
didn't say
me
I
the
seen a
quarries.
UFO. I said I seen a plane. That they have planes. They even have statues. They even
Okay.
have gold. They even have gold emblems of planes. So did you see that
And they fly too.
when you
It's
went
crazy.
there?
Read the chariot.
You
Yes, read the
didn't.
chariot of the
You
gods.
didn't.
But
This is what I'm saying.
bro,
Okay, you went there.
Bro,
You
wait a
went there,
minute.
but you didn't see
I'm
that.
talking about the building of the Giza. It was the Giza Museum on how they built because they had the hieroglyphics right there in your face. The guy was explaining that. He was an Egyptian. He was born there. And that's what he's telling everybody. It was a remarkable feat by 20,000 people at one time. They built a whole town. They have proof of that. What are you talking about, man? Think about 20,000 people pulling ropes. Of course, they didn't have tractors. Hey, Matt, give me tool supply.
No, they didn't. They had something else. They had something else.
No, they didn't have
that you
something
don't.
else, bro.
They
No,
had
they
something
didn't.
else that you're not privileged to know. That's what it is. Because if you want to downplay what civilization has accomplished, they haven't accomplished it with rope because we can't do it now. Try to
Not
do
only
it
that,
now. You
not only
can't.
that, not only that,
Bro,
not only that, it would just stand to
have you
reason
heard
that,
any archaeologists ever say these are feats that we could never do now? We could never build the Colosseum in Rome now.
yeah, and the
Yes,
ones,
because it was different back then, bro. It was
No,
different.
no, no,
No,
no,
it
no,
was
no, no,
different.
no,
So I
no.
guess they use
Let me
radio waves
say
for the
this. Let me say
Colosseum.
this. Let me say this. Let me say this. It's not that we can't build it. Is that they would never allow it to be built, right? Because it's a different understanding. These things wasn't built just for decoration. These things was one with nature, right? These things was one
No,
with
they
the
weren't. They
world.
were pyramids. They were pyramids,
Excuse me,
and they were
hey,
pharaohs beating out the other
excuse
pharaohs.
me. You know, but now let me say this. So they were these pyramids, and the way they lined the structure is the same way we line structure in motherboards and computers. The exact same way.
Mm.
Now you're not saying nothing. It's because real
No,
technology. Listen.
What are you talking about, man?
Listen. If you be quiet, you can hear. Real technology.
Be quiet,
They
bro.
don't
You
want
haven't made any sense.
if you
Anything. You
could be
haven't made one bit
quiet,
of
you
sense.
can hear. But you're not being quiet. That's the problem, man. If you could be quiet, you can
No,
hear.
I'm listening to you. I'm
So
listening to
okay,
you.
I
But
appreciate
you're
that.
talking out of your ass now.
I
All
appreciate.
right.
no, hold on, you can't just
You
dismiss
should
what you
appreciate
say
it.
because
You see, now check this out.
That's not fair.
No. Time out. You telling me I'm talking on my
I'm
ass?
listening to you,
Because,
man.
no,
Talk.
let me talk.
Get it over with.
Let me talk. You telling me I'm talking out my ass, right? But yet you're sitting talking
Yeah.
shit out your ass. I don't gotta believe what you're saying, right? The shit you saying, you're not even saying everything. You're saying
Okay, but let's
cut
get into
dry
what
shit.
you're saying.
All right, so exactly.
What are you talking
Mute his
about,
ass. Let him
Conjo? I said
talk.
I'm telling how the
Hey,
pyramids
yo,
were built.
mute his ass. Let me talk, man.
I'm
If
saying
you're gonna
how the
disrespect
pyramids
me,
were built, bro.
if you're gonna disrespect me,
I
I don't play
explained
that
it
shit,
very
man.
fine. Well,
Stop talking like that.
All right,
you know
We
what? Do
having a
me a favor. Do
conversation,
me a
brother.
favor.
We
Stop
having a
saying no. We're
conversation,
not
brother.
having it. You're
We having a
telling me that the pyramids
conversation.
were built from computer chips. We do the same
No,
thing
I
we
didn't
do now.
say that. I didn't
Yes, you
say
just
that.
said that.
No, I'm
Okay.
saying what I'm
I know you didn't
saying
say that.
is what I'm saying is the same way these pyramids are built and how they're laid on the ground, right?
With a motherboard.
If you know anything about fractal spirals, you should Google that, right? That's mathematics.
Use
If you know anything about, thank you, brother.
My man,
If
do
you
me
know
a favor.
oh my
Do me a
God,
favor.
what's up
We're
with this
talking
dude,
about
bro?
pyramids.
I'm trying to
The
tell you about
pyramids
a
were built
pyramid.
with sticks and strings.
They was
Sticks
not
and
built with
strings.
sticks and strings. That is a
Yes,
way
that's
of
exactly how it was laid
British.
out. No,
That is
that's exactly how it was
okay. I'm gonna
laid
say it
out.
again.
Sticks and strings. We have undeniable proof of that.
That's a way
Undeniable proof of that.
proof from people that are trying to tell us how something is built, but yet they can't do it again. You make no sense.
What are you talking about? Can't do it
There's a
again.
lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that
You know why?
Hold on. I haven't said
Yo, B-Rap, go ahead, B-Rap.
I'm waiting.
I know. I can't even get a clear thought out without being attacked.
Look, every 4 years, new information comes out. Some new fucking college graduate who's a fucking archaeologist goes over there and comes back with a whole new story, writes a book, it's a TV deal, fucking makes a show about it, goes on every fucking morning news channel there is, and they have this whole new idea that they say makes sense. Anybody who comes out and says that it didn't happen.
Okay, what new ideas?
Oh my
I'm just
God.
listening.
What new ideas?
What's that? What?
Yo, finish what you were
said
saying.
new
Finish what you
ideas.
were
Please
saying.
explain.
Finish what you're saying so I can understand what you're saying, brother. Go ahead, talk.
All right. So basically what I'm saying is you got your education. You went to college, you got an education, right? So you think, I mean, it's not just shit's literally not written in stone. You know what I mean? Like we don't fucking know for a fact. Somebody told you that. Somebody learned, somebody studied, somebody went under the tutelage of somebody who figured that shit out before. So now you're saying that we're not smart enough to figure out how they fucking built these pyramids, but they were smart enough to know how to build it. And I believe they definitely got ancient knowledge. I don't think that I think they found them. Like I said that before, but every 5 years you see something new comes out. Like I just saw this thing the other day that says that they basically built like a canal structure all the way down right next to the river, let water in there through the fucking the mud and shit from up north where they got this stuff from the quarries. Made like a slurry field and it just slid down.
There was only one, but there was only one pyramid that was done like that. And that's the Saqqara pyramid.
And that's the step pyramid. Because when you look at the original blocks, they meld into each other, and that could only be done if it was actually poured or sculpted when it was still wet. That way it melds to each other when it dries, and that's why you can't even get a piece of paper between these fucking things. I mean, where did they get the crazy ancient knowledge for this thing? Like basically, like I was saying before, they match true north and every other direction on the pyramid with the fucking corners, and it points in direct line with true north and all other true angles.
Well,
Like,
that's not impossible to do.
no, it's not
That's not
impossible to do, but it's. Do you think you can go out with some sticks and stones
technology.
and make that shit fucking happen?
Absolutely. I can do that from a north. I can absolutely do that from a north and west trajectory, east and west trajectory. Absolutely.
It gets even better than that. It gets even better than that, because when you actually take like the height of it or whatever some number, it might be like the square footage of the height of it, whatever it is, multiply that by like 43,600 or some shit. You basically get the exact number for the circumference of the earth, and then you can turn around and get the equatorial line off of the numbers of this pyramid. Like, there's so much fucking more to it than a burial chamber for some fucking asshole who thought he was rich and
exactly
and thought he was a god when he fucking wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. They definitely got information from way back when. And if they built,
well, back then they thought the pharaohs were gods. So what are you talking about? They thought pharaohs were gods.
Yeah. Okay.
The difference is we can't
pharaohs were gods.
20,000 people now.
And so you think that these people can find fucking true magnetic north or true north on a grand scale using stars and shit, but they think that the guys who fucking run their world are gods? Why? What the fuck?
I think they were more spiritual back then.
What are you talking about? Astronomy?
Makes sense. I think that you're downplaying the.
You're talking about the Egyptian astronomy.
That's what I think too. I think
that what they did. I think
that is being downplayed.
If they were the ones who made it, it was definitely made not the way they said it was made. That's a theory that's been put forth by the first guy who stumbled upon that shit in like 1840 something, some fucking English guy. And like I said before, do you think he's gonna go back to England without an explanation for everything? He's gonna go back with a fucking story for everything. And that's basically what you've been told. And you're
My man, that's not what I've been told. That's what I studied and learned. And I saw it. And first of all, Egyptians have explained that. The pyramids, they even said it undoubtedly. Pyramids were built because pharaohs were gods. You had no television. You had nothing. You could do no writing. You could do no form of anything. Everything was the pharaoh. And you gather 20,000 people. Just think about the amount of people I just said. And you have guys trimming a copper wire with sand and water, which is proven. And then you had guys chiseling the stone and shaping, and this is the angle. Yeah, we have undeniable proof of that.
Yo, can I say something, man? Listen, listen. All this stuff that's being said, I understand, because that's what they're showing, right? But in other places that have the same type of structures, right? Same type of structures, right? And even taking the same way that a carpenter will take a wedge to wedge it into another wood, right? They're doing that with brick, which that means it has to be melted at a certain degree to put it in. You can't do that with chisels and rope. You just can't. Or saw. You can't.
If you go on Instagram,
I'm not going on Instagram. I'm not going on Instagram.
Well, I'm going to explain something to you. It's showing a guy splitting a 4-ton rock in India with a small chisel.
Yeah, I think.
Listen.
Okay, so give me a break, bro. Do me a favor. Stop it.
Yeah, but listen. I'm gonna tell you like this.
The entire world that weigh tens of thousands of tons. Like tens of thousands of pounds,
that's nothing. I'm talking tons.
And then
I'm
on top
talking
of that,
tons.
when you get into South America, when you get into like what's the one that's on the top of the mountain? Is it Machu Picchu that's up there? It's on like the top of a mountain. How the fuck?
How do you do that?
You can't do that. You can't do that. There has to be a building.
So you think an alien came down? Hey guys, how you doing?
No, I don't think that.
Hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to lift them up for you. It was labor, bro. A lot of labor, intense labor.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many humans you get. You can't pick up 8 tons.
Yeah,
get as many. You can't even cover it.
8 tons.
Hold on. Listen.
You know Limpin Skull?
Listen.
You know who Limpin Skull is?
You can't even surround 8 tons and have enough hands on it to pick it up. You can't.
Bro, do you know how they move those stones? By digging out the ground, rolling it on platforms. We have a fact which factual.
I feel you. So I feel you. So, you can be taught something a certain way and think that you have a clear understanding on something, right? And then when something is said that's just common sense, it doesn't sound like it's common sense because you've been taught to say that this is this and that is
No,
that.
I wasn't taught
You
to
have
say
to. I'm
that.
not, no. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying you could be taught to say that this is that, that is this. But common sense. If we had 8 tons right here, you couldn't get 20,000 people hands on it to pick it up. People will be over each other trying to pick it up. That's common sense.
Yo, 90
My
Joe,
man,
big, call
my
up.
man,
I want
it's
to hear what you got.
proven how they lifted
How is it proven
20-ton
if I just said that?
obelisks
I just
all
said
the way
that
to
and you didn't
Rome.
answer it. You're
Yeah,
just telling me how
20-ton.
it's proven.
Bro, how the Romans took 20-ton obelisks, brought them all across the Mediterranean Sea on a ship, loaded them on a platform, and lifted them in by sand and ramps. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You
By
are not
standing
looking at
ramps.
the picture. You're not looking at the big picture. It's
No.
20,000 people again took to build the Giza pyramids. It
Yeah.
took over 22 years. We have documents that they had to lay 350 stones a day. There was thousands of cutters, thousands of scrapers, thousands of movers. Yeah, thousands. Guys making the sand ramps, preparing it with water and sand, rolling
Water and
those sheds
sand.
up, guys with
Right.
sticks. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how they built it.
So
No
it
spaceman
was
came down and started
no.
levitating the stones.
Listen, I don't even know where you're getting the spaceman from, but
Okay,
all I
so
want
what
to
are you
say is that
suggesting then, KB? If it's not
what I'm
spaceman,
saying is this is that it's a science, is a technology that it's not the mainstream public doesn't have it anymore. We don't have that technology anymore to actually do that, right? It's wiped away. If we look at how like let's say Washington D.C. When you look at Washington D.C. from above, you see the master architect and how he built it, how he laid it out. That's the same way the pyramids.
That's the Freemasons.
That's the same way the pyramids in Giza is built. It's built everything. Thank you. Someone said points. Thank you. That's the same way the pyramids in Giza is built. Everything is built right on a grid. It's surveying.
Brother. It's surveying. Yeah, I get it. It's surveying. Washington, D.C. was built off of the Masons.
Can I ask you a question?
From the George Washington period. Yes,
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So this is what I'm trying to ask you. Was there any water flowing around the pyramids of Giza?
Yes, there was when they first levitated it off to find the level. Water levels itself, right? Water levels itself, right? They dug a ditch completely around the outline, found the level of the water, and then placed that with a stick to the true corner because they understood that using the string and squaring it off at even dimensions makes a perfect square.
So one more time, this is what I was going to say before I got the history lesson. What I was trying to say is that if there was water flowing under, right? Why would they make tunnels knowing that the water's flowing under it? Unless it was
not water under, around the outside edge, my friend.
Whoa! Could I talk? Thank you, brother. Unless they had a reason to make those tunnels under there, right? Unless they had a reason.
Yeah, tombs.
So they did all of that to put tombs in it.
Yeah.
I got a question. Yeah. What is like modern day like historian classes say about how like they saw what the fuck was going on when they were inside? Right. How did they see anything in there?
Hey, bro, you don't see in today's day and age, we're doing the same thing they did back then. When a crane goes up on a building and it falls down, the engineers scratch their head. Oh shit, we have to do this and we have to put better bolsters in. And yeah, you see where we fucked up. We're still fucking up, just like we did back then. It's human nature. There's no hidden innuendos of things coming down in radio waves. And yeah, Tesla did an electrical radio wave. He had nothing to do with the pyramids. What he did was he wanted to create free energy for anybody. And what he did was just a little too dangerous. That's the problem with Tesla. It wasn't perfect. That's why they went with Thomas Edison.
No. They went with Tesla.
Nobody does anything for free.
That's not true. That's not even true. What happened with Tesla?
Tesla wanted to give free energy to everybody. Yes, he did.
And they pulled the funding because they can't make money off of free energy. They pulled the funding because they can't. Remember what he.
Yeah, I get that. You're right about that.
Okay, so it's not because Tesla messed up. It's not because Tesla. We using a cell phone right now. same technology that Tesla came up with. There's patents on it.
Yeah.
Right now, you can say you can do
That's
that.
why.
You can say that, but
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
guess what? That's human nature, bro. They're
Is
still
it
doing
true?
it today.
Is it? I'm just asking.
Corporations are shutting down another corporation because they want to make money. But
Listen.
don't
Let
tell
me say
me
this.
that the
Look. Watch this.
archaeologists are
that
making
was
up stories.
I just want to say this. I just want to say this.
That was
I
Thomas
just want to say
Edison that he
this.
went up against, right? Like it was the Edisons that he went up against with that whole fucking light bulb thing.
Yep.
And they came out with the light bulb, and he was working on basically wireless like Wi-Fi for energy, and it's believed that that's what the actual the pyramids were actually used for because of the way they have the water that comes under it. There's still like liquid water that runs under it. They cut like something out of the Nile River that used to run that way, and apparently it still flows somewhere from underground. Apparently, because there's water that you can see that runs under it.
They did channels to feed and make. They were the greatest, most smart. They took a desert and they
Static
made an
electricity.
oasis out of it, and
That's
vegetables and plants by doing
Static
tunnels and
electricity.
channels and
No, it
making
had a different-
water be
had a different
closer where
climate.
they can access it. Yes,
Static
very simple.
electricity.
Had a different climate at that point. Like they definitely had a more rich climate. They had to use.
Yeah, they
trees
didn't need none of that. They had a richer climate than that.
Like what were
It
they
wasn't
making
all
rope out of?
sand back
What were they
then.
making rope out of if they had just desert?
Egypt?
What?
Bro,
What were they
Egypt's
making
a
rope
desert.
out of?
You-
What
The
I'm
only
saying is
water they get
used
is from the Nile. That's
It
where they
wasn't
get their
at one
water.
wasn't at one point, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
It
so
wasn't-
okay, wait, time out. It wasn't at one point, and they didn't
definitely.
just get the water from the Nile. The same way that it's mysteriously raining and there's rivers going through Egypt right now, right? Rain happening over there, right? No one's saying that right now. A lot of things that are being said is just like it's no such thing as something being one-sided, and that's it, right? Because events that happen, we don't speak about it. We kind of stick to what we think we know instead of adapting what's new or what's actually happened or new evidence that presents itself, right? We don't do
No,
that.
that's speculation, man.
People get paid
What
off.
you find, I think
People get
this,
paid.
and
Listen.
that's a theoretical perspective, my friend.
No, people get paid to put information out. People get paid to hold information. What are you talking about?
When you make a
My
discovery,
man, I mean, we're talking about government stuff, but we're talking about pyramids, bro.
No,
We're talking about pyramids.
We are talking about pyramids.
We also know how the Chichen Itzas created gum. They created so many things. They knew that this special wood timber will be a threshold. They were figuring it out. They built those by hand. They logged those stones up by hand, by sleds and shafts and making ramps. It's very, very unargumentary.
Right. As far as pyramids, right? We're talking about pyramids now, right? And there's pyramids all over, right? It's pyramids all over.
Yeah.
Right. How can we clearly how can we clearly come to a point to say that this pyramid is older than this pyramid, that's older than this pyramid, that's older than this pyramid? How can we say that? No, it doesn't work.
We have documentation of it, bro.
No,
you can tell. I don't know. Do you know what plutonium charging is? Atom charging? Do you know how they tell by how stones are old and how we know the Earth is 4.5 million years old? It's carbon testing. Now they have plutonium testing.
Okay,
now they have nuclear testing.
Let me say this. Now, look, you heard everything you just said, right? And we know all of this stuff, but we don't even know the depths of the ocean. We don't even know anything about anything in the ocean, right? We don't even know anything about
the ocean, but we don't know.
Hold on. We don't know anything, but yet you just told me the size of the Earth. We don't know nothing.
The size of the Earth? I never said anything about it.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I
was talking about the Chichen Itza and Tulum
and
pyramids.
How old the Earth is, right? How old the Earth is, right?
No, yes, we know how old the Earth is. It's 4.5 million years old. And this day, 500 million years ago, as we're in the dark rift. You know what the dark rift is?
I just want to know how you know this information, how we know this information. How?
We have documentation, bro, by stones.
We
by
got so much documentation that's fake.
Bro, what? We're talking about
No, you're not even
archaeologists.
listening.
These
This
people
is
are
what
not
I'm
about
saying.
money. These
No,
people are not about
yes, they
money.
are.
It's
Yeah,
not one.
everyone's about
Not
money.
one
Why do we know when the
archaeologist. There's a
dinosaurs were
bunch
here?
of them
How did we
over the
find
years.
out about the Permian extinction? How did
You
we
learned that
find
in
about the
school, right?
KT boundary?
You learned that in
Because
school,
we
right?
dug down through the permafrost. What are you
Yo,
talking about?
B-Rap, did he learn
We
that in
have
school?
undeniable proof
Yo,
the Earth is
B-Rap, did he learn
4.5
that in
billion years
school?
old.
So wait.
Did he learn that in school?
So you disagree the age of the pyramids? KB?
I disagree because I think that we don't know how old the age of the pyramids are. We
Yes,
do
we
not.
know exactly how old they are.
And what happens is that we keep getting
Bro,
people that's trying to tell us this information. Like, watch this. I could tell. Listen, I could say something right now that everybody will say, "Oh, this, that, this, and the fourth." And I say this shit all the time. Yo, when was the first electric car built?
In like 1840 or some shit like that.
Exactly, 1830.
Wow,
All
man.
cars were electric at first.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. People don't know.
No, we don't know. So we don't know when a pharaoh
And
was
that's
a
what I'm
pharaoh.
saying.
We don't know when Snafu was a
we don't
pharaoh
know.
or Khufu or
Hey,
Imhotep when he was
I'm not
building.
saying
We don't have that documented.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
Yes,
what I'm
you are
saying is
saying
that
that.
no, if
Yes, you
I
are saying.
say
You're telling me that these people are not real. That's what you're telling
no,
me.
I never said that. What I'm saying to you
Well,
is that
then by you telling me that you don't know the time period of when these people
that's
were born and they built a pyramid makes you
what
colossal and not
makes you what?
understanding anything.
No,
It
actually,
makes you.
you're trying to tell me something
So
that you don't even
I'm not
know.
trying to tell you
You're
anything.
assuming from something you learned. You're assuming from somebody you learned, like they can't be wrong. I'm gonna say just like this. You don't know when the pyramids was built. You personally
we do.
don't know. You're just talking.
Yes, we do.
And it's cool.
No,
Who's
I'm
yes
not
we?
talking.
Who's we?
We have
disagree with
documentation of it
all the thousands
by
of scientists
pharaohs
Oh man,
that
yo,
were born.
listen. How much? Okay,
over the
check it.
years.
How much documentation did they know about when was something else, and then they change it a couple years later, just like when somebody else discovers something else?
Look at our history in the past
Bro,
couple
it's
of
in,
years.
it's in
Just
the
look at our
look at our
hieroglyphics
history.
carved in the stones
No,
of the
but
building
you know what,
Yo,
Jimmy,
listen,
that were
I'ma say
done
like
at
this.
those periods.
I'm gonna
now
say
they're
like
changing
this.
the date of the Sphinx.
Yo,
to it.
shout
That's
out to Africa, shout out to
saying the
all over the
Sphinx
world,
is
because
over.
it's not just fucking Egypt that has pyramids in it
Well,
that
we're
are
talking
huge.
about the
It's a lot,
Egyptian pyramids.
and I'm
I
talking about
understand that. We
pyramids.
already got that.
I'm
I know
talking
we
about
got that.
pyramids
You keep
too.
repeating yourself.
Yeah,
We're talking
so are
about the
you.
Egyptian pyramids right
So
now.
are you.
We know there's pyramids all over the
So are
world. Stop
you.
saying the same fucking thing.
That's what I keep trying to
All
say
right?
from
You
you.
know
You
the
keep saying the
timetables
same
and the
shit.
periods. You're out of your mind
You out of your mind. You
by
trying to tell me when the
denouncing that.
pyramids are, and you don't
Okay,
even
but
know.
guess what? Both
Yes,
of y'all
we
saying
do.
the
We
same
have
thing
documentation of it.
because KB is
So you're
saying
telling me
Wait,
Khufu.
built by
All
humans.
right.
I
This guy's
think, but they
Once
had a
again,
different science
again.
that we don't understand anymore. And you're saying it was built by humans, but it was just built, and that's it. There was no extra science. There was nothing.
Who, me? I'm
How
saying
can you
that?
say
Oh, I'm not saying that.
Because we can't do that right now, even if we knew exactly how. Like the way they were more disciplined, more spiritual, more focused, and they were different. But I don't know. KB is saying there's some extra, I don't know, mysticism going on with it. I'm not.
I
really
believe
sure.
that. I believe that. That's the truth. I believe that there's information that is hidden. I believe that. I believe that if we
You
had
can
to
believe
the
whatever you
ability,
want, bro, but it's not a fact.
hey, do me a favor.
You're assuming. You're
Do me a
assuming.
favor.
Where we at with it?
Do me a favor. I understand what you're saying. Now I'm just gonna say something. I understand what you're saying. That's your opinion. I'm gonna give my opinion now.
Not my opinion. I go by facts, bro.
All right. Sure you do. I understand. So, like I was just saying, it's a lot of things that is hidden from us that we don't know, that we keep trying to take people telling us this information. And if the information is so out there for everybody, right, on the internet, on the Wikipedia, that you could change all this stuff, even the information you get from school to try to learn about yourself and on all these other cultures. These are people that are going to these places, discovering it, trying to say all this stuff about it, and tell you that, I feel offended to feel like somebody telling me that it's built with chisels and it's built with rope, right? But yet
Okay, then explain to me. Explain to me.
But yet we can't
Listen,
do
you
it
keep saying the
again.
same thing,
And
but
we can't do
explain
it
to
again.
me.
Yo,
Explain to me the
I don't-
quarries.
Listen,
What about the quarries? Please explain that to me.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say again. One more time. They did not build that with chisels and rope.
Explain to me the quarries then, my friend. Explain to me the quarries.
It's like right now, right? It's like right now. How do we build massive tunnels under the ground in the mountains? How do we do that right now?
You're cutting out again, man.
How do we build?
You're cutting out again. I didn't hear a word you said.
Then you have to be quiet so you can hear.
Bro, I'm being quiet. You're having a frequency. Something's wrong. Okay?
Everyone
I gotta be quiet. You believe this guy?
Everyone hears me,
bro, do me a favor. You know, let me tell you something.
I don't know what you're telling me.
We are a trial and error. We are a trial and error race.
Listen, you got to let me talk, man, because tough on the internet is stupid. Let's talk. Tough on the internet is stupid. Let's just talk.
What's internet? We are talking, but I'm explaining something to you. You're telling me that the pharaohs, they had no timeline then. So then when was if you know so much that it's not the right thing, when was Khufu Pharaoh then?
If he wasn't no, I'm not saying that.
Okay, then what
I just said what I was saying.
You're telling me the pyramids weren't built in that time. You're denouncing the pharaohs and the time periods.
What I'm saying is that no one knows when the pyramids was built. That's what I'm saying. Do. But you listen. Listen. I'm gonna say this. Look. You listening? Because you can hear me clear now.
I'm listening to you, bro.
Okay. So look. Listen, you ready? So no one really knows when the pyramids was built, right?
Yes,
no
they
one's
do.
Talking about you still interrupting me.
It's okay.
You're still interrupting me, dude. If you don't want to have an argument going back and forth,
bro,
you gotta
just
let
keep
people
going.
talk.
Go ahead. Let me hear what you gotta say.
No.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, then be quiet. I
haven't said a word except when you said something stupid.
Dude, what's up with this dude, man? Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's up with you, bro? What's up with you?
You want me to come at you?
And your fantasy land?
You want me to
come back
at you?
to Earth, man. Get out of fantasy land.
You want me to come at you? Like, stop. Is this a joke now? Let's talk. So like I was saying, you don't know. I'll be right there. You don't know when the pyramids was built. None of us do, right? We know the timeline that you're saying about the pharaohs, right? Which is understandable, which is information that's put out there for everybody, right? But me personally, I feel that we do not know when the pyramids was built, right? We don't know. We don't know when a lot of structures was built. It's people that are telling us when this stuff is built, because all this history is deleted and gone. Because if the real history comes out on everything, it will be a flip in society. And that's the truth. And that's how I feel. I feel that.
My man, again, I want to say something. First of all, if you're denouncing the time period of the pyramids, you're denouncing the time period of the pharaohs. So that means Khufu was not at the time that he was documented in 2560. Then you're talking about Snafu wasn't there in 2680. And then you're talking about the Djoser was not there in 2780. You're telling me that now that they were building the pyramids, we have documentation of the architects, the people that build it. We have the proof of all this and the timelines carved in the stone and carved on paper that they have saved. So, you're telling me then the pharaohs are non-existent.
I understand what you're saying. Now watch this. Look, I'm gonna say something so simple. Was it carved on stone and it said BC? Was it carved on stone and say BC? No.
Bro, what are you talking about?
If you let me speak, Joe, shut up. You gotta let me answer you, dude. You shut up.
Shut up, man. You don't have a clue what the hell you're talking about. Was it BC?
Shut up and stuff.
They didn't know BC back then. We know BC.
Listen.
But what are you talking about? Did it call BC?
Yo,
they didn't even know about Christ then, man. What are you talking about?
So like I was saying, yeah, have a drink. Like I was saying,
it's water, bro.
Like I was saying, right? They didn't say BC. They didn't say that because the reason why they didn't say that is because that's all a Gregorian calendar, right? So we're not even going off the real dates. And I said this before.
Oh my God, man.
Okay,
Said
let's
it
get some ending
before.
words, and we
The
about to get out of
Gregorian
here.
calendar has nothing to do with the hieroglyphics and the time period because they date the time period. That's why we have 2700 BC, and that's where the timeline started. We
BC is
invented the BC
before
because
Christ.
of the hypothetical story of a
BC
Jesus
is before Christ,
and the
right?
Savior. That's when we started saying
B-
BC. Their
BC before
timeline is
Christ.
generated the same way we did on
And-
AD.
And is that so? That's Egyptian, and that's Christianity,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Egyptian and Christianity.
Christianity wasn't even a thought then, bro.
So, but
What are you talking about? You're
okay.
talking about 2,700 years before Jesus
No,
wasn't even a thought.
I'm just saying, BC. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying BC.
Of course, I
right?
know BC, and I'm going to ask you
Okay.
something else. Do you know Horus? Do you know the son of Osiris?
Of course
You know
I
who Horus
do.
is?
You think I
Okay,
don't?
so
Of course
okay,
I
then
do.
what's the
I'm listening to you say-
what's
I'm listening
Horus'
to you say
story?
all this
I'm
stuff.
asking you a question.
I'm
What's
listening to all
Horus'
this.
story?
I don't
What
care
is the
about
story?
what Horus' story is.
Well, yeah,
I don't
of
care.
course not, because you don't know the
I don't-
answer. Then
I
is what
don't
you're
care.
saying.
You must
Okay,
not know.
okay, yo, watch this. Okay, look. I don't know the answer, right? I don't know the answer. No, I'm actually getting
You can say it.
frustrated.
It's okay. I'm going to explain
actually
to
getting-
it. You know what
I'm
Horus
actually-
was?
I'm actually
Born of a
getting frustrated.
virgin, baptized by a man that was beheaded, walked in the desert,
It's the
talked
same.
to a
It's
snake.
the same. It's
That's
the same as Christianity. It's the same
1380
story.
BC.
It's the
Okay.
same story as Christianity. It's the same
No, that's
story.
not Christian. Bro, that's not Christianity. Christianity took it from the story of
That's
Horus.
that's what I just said. It's the same
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, y'all saying
You're
the
not
same
So
thing.
that's
listening.
showing you that
You're
the
just
Bible is
yelling.
bullshit. That's showing you that the Bible is bullshit.
Stop. Yo, I know way more than I sit and tell. The reason why I'm not saying I'm listening to you. Run. And all I said was one simple thing. All I said was I don't think the pyramids was built when they was built. That's all I said to you. And
No,
you
that's
tell me-
not what you
and
said. And you mentioned Christianity, bro. I didn't mention it. You mentioned BC and Christianity. How could that come into your thought process when we're talking about 2700 BC?
What I said was BC, before Christ, right? Christianity, BC. That's what I said to you.
No, when you said, did I
No,
see
that's what I
labels
no.
of BC?
Stop.
What I said.
That's what I said to you.
Because now we're going back on conversation. That's not
Wow,
what
no, let me tell you something. No, bro, what you said to me was, did they have on the writings BC? How could they have BC on the writings? That's what you said. So don't say you didn't. If you go back and listen to this show again, you're going to hear you saying, did they have BC on the hieroglyphics?
Listen,
Come on, bro. What are you talking about, man?
I said that as a joke. Talking to you.
Oh, now you're joking. So when
yes,
you're
I am
joking and not
joking
joking
with you.
When were you joking and not joking? When were you joking and not
When
joking?
were you not joking and joking?
I'm telling you the truth, bro. I'm giving it to you straight and what it is.
Yo, time out. Time out. When are you joking and not joking?
Gotta end this, guys.
I didn't joke. You just said you joked. So
Oh
why
my
are you accusing me?
God.
What are you pulling a Trump? Don't say, oh my God.
Yo,
I
listen,
said
listen,
you said you're
Next
joking.
episode,
So why do you
this
say
all
I'm joking?
This is all I'm
No,
saying.
bro,
I'm saying that
you ain't
I don't
saying nothing
believe
that makes any
I don't
sense, is
believe
what
that
you're saying.
pyramids. I don't believe that pyramids was built the time that they said it was built. That's what I'm saying.
You said, okay, and when was it built?
No, stop. I don't
When was
believe
it built?
pyramids was built.
Call up.
Listen. I'm saying something, and that's all I'm saying to you. I'm not saying I know the date. If I just said I don't believe it was built when it's built, I'm saying I don't know the date, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that I believe the date you're telling me. That's what I'm saying. I got a right to say that. Stop trying to say people are stupid or people dumb or people don't know nothing.
You're guessing.
Stop saying
You're
that.
guessing, bro.
No,
you're guessing. That's what
oh
you're
my
doing.
God.
You're
How am I guessing
don't
something
say, oh
I'm
my
saying?
God, shut up with your nonsense, man.
Hey, yo,
you don't even know what the hell you're talking about, bro.
Yo, chill out.
Can I say something real quick?
You should relax.
Go ahead.
No, I'm fine, bro.
You should relax.
Talking
I'm
nonsense,
serious.
man.
Relax.
Stop talking nonsense.
Yo, it's difficult.
Yo, shut up, dude. Anybody can say what they want on here.
Shut up. You shut up, man.
Yo, listen.
Relax. The pyramids were built.
Relax.
We don't know when the pyramids were built. I never heard a so ridiculous comment. We don't know when the pyramids were built.
No, we don't.
Archaeologists are out trying to make big money off of people. And these are Egyptians. These are Egyptians that told this.
We don't.
Now you're interrupting.
We don't.
Do me a favor. Yes, we do. We know exactly the timeline.
We don't.
Hey,
We do
Mook.
not know. We do
Mook,
not know when none of these
This
things
is
happen.
absolutely getting crazy, man. This is
Let's
getting
get
nonsense.
I want to get the last words. Go ahead, B-Rad, and then we go.
All right, so basically, I'll just say something real quick to close this out. It's tough to argue with an education. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
this man's spitting facts. You know what I mean? He's got solid knowledge. However, 5 minutes ago, you just said that, you know, to denounce the Pharaohs is craziness, but you denounced Jesus Christ 2 minutes later.
Bro, you're breaking up, man. I don't know what's with the signal. Your voice goes in and out. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, man.
All right, no, I'll just say if everybody else is hearing it. Basically, what I'm saying is,
Mook, is that a something? Why am I getting like I'm getting like mumbling.
At the house.
yeah, it's your connection. You on Wi-Fi or something? They'll do that.
That's all good.
No, it's
What are
still
you
bad,
saying?
man.
Let's end this.
Anyway, listen.
Yeah.
An education is hard to go up against, no doubt about it. When you can spit facts and shit like that, but these stories were written by men. You know what I mean? These stories, the pyramids were made by men. The stories that were carved into them are made by men. There's nothing that's factual here. 100%. You're getting a story from somebody. But I mean, you also said that it would be insane for us to say that, you know, the pharaohs didn't exist, because we know when they existed, and to denounce them would be crazy. But in the same breath, you also said that Jesus Christ and that whole story was a bunch of bullshit.
Yes,
so
it is.
Okay, but it's okay. So at that point,
I can prove that.
More, but listen,
and we should talk about that on another topic.
We should talk about
because I can definitely.
You got an education.
Let me ask you something, buddy. What have you studied about the Bible? No, but let me ask you a question. What have you studied about the Bible?
Wow,
did you study the Bible from reading the book?
Next week we're gonna do it.
I studied the Bible, how it was created. That's what I studied.
Yo,
and then why did they put?
Everybody get their last thoughts.
Why did they take the divine intervention story, which was Horus's story, and put it into the Bible 324 A.D.?
Let's let B-Rad finish his. Let's let B-Rad finish what he was saying.
B-Rad,
let's let him finish what he was saying.
Look, just to say one thing's factual and then say a story that came out 500 years later is not factual. It's just like, wow, you know, if
it is a fact.
I'm just saying it, again, this has all been told to you by people, and you've read it in books, but books are written by
my
people.
Man, listen to me. It's not told to me. It's in hieroglyphics. 1380 BC, Horus, the son of Osiris, was a mythical figure for the Egyptian people, as the Greeks told of the 7 roaming hills of Italy, which were the 7 horsemen. Okay, and that I can go into the whole thing because I studied how the Bible was written. Okay, when they took this story, 1380 BC, when they took out the Book of Enoch, which was the first Bible, which was not a perfect God, the Christians decided to say, no, God is perfect. And then in 324 AD, they loved the story of Horus. They took that story and applied it to the Bible. The Bible was written over 900 years. It was changed over 2,000 times. And they also had in the Bible that the earth was the center of the universe. So give me a break, my friend. Yes, we can undeniably prove they don't even have proof of Jesus. And Jesus is a mythological figure that they applied from Horus and his story. Okay?
Okay, that's your last word.
Was there a Jesus? Could there have been a guy that was preaching to people and saying shit? Sure. But you're not going to tell me that the story of Horus that belongs to Jesus now, which is not. There were 79 Jesuses before Jesus. And this is all in BC.
Okay,
that's a fact.
Listen, the same story about Jesus.
Mahavishnu, Hare Krishna.
All these things.
Man, I hate that I'm not getting those.
Yeah, you breaking up too.
This story. Finish what you were saying, B-Rab, because I was trying to hear you. Finish what you were saying.
This story basically has been used in over 200 religions throughout history. So, you know, I mean, there's 200 different religious stories that are all based on the same fucking guideline. A virgin has a child.
Exactly. And all the gods were born on December 25th.
Hold on. Let him finish. Hold on. Let him finish.
Everybody's had the same story, because basically what it tells you to fucking do, it lets you know when the winter solstice is. It lets you know when, you should be planting crops. It's all based off of like druid type shit, weird shit. But to just I don't know, to say that the biggest religion in history is completely falsified, but the fucking pharaohs were gods. It's just, I don't know. I
Well,
don't
the
know.
people thought the pharaohs were gods. Not that he was a god.
And there
It's
were
the
reasons,
people, my man.
and there were reasons for that. They did things that were
No, they didn't do
unbelievable.
things. That you had this leader, and if you didn't listen, you were fucking killed, bro.
Yeah,
It's
but
not like it is today. We have the Farmer's Almanac that tells you when to plant, when to do this. This is an historical thing that's been going on before the history of the Christian Bible and after.
Oh,
And
in
first
North
of
Korea
all,
right now, these people have no education, and they're told that their fucking leader's a god too.
It's
You know
the
what I'm saying?
same
They fucking
thing
believe
going
it.
on.
well, yeah,
Same thing.
so of course, bro, you're 100%
So-
right. They
okay,
look when the father died, they all hysterically cried, fell on the floor, thousands of people,
But what I'm just
because
saying,
they
what I'm
think
saying
that
is-
Kim Jong-un is the same. Well, look at what Hitler did. They thought Hitler was amazing. He was an uneducated, dropped out of high school, failed artist who was in World War I and learned from us. We made Hitler. You know why? Because we were dropping pamphlets down and they're reading the pamphlets telling the German soldiers, give up. Why are you fighting? They were shooting off fireworks and playing music. Yeah, propaganda, bro. We are living with propaganda. We're never going to get out of it. But you're not going to tell me that archaeologists or the archaeologist that works in in Chesapeake Bay in Boston and is trying to figure out why it's eroding, who makes maybe $70,000 a year, gives a fuck about money or not telling the truth. Now, these are Egyptian architects, Egyptian archaeologists that said this. I've been to Egypt twice. It's a fucking desert. I really didn't care for too much of the people or the cuisine. I did love the scientist and the museum, and I didn't get to see Snafu's pyramid, but I did study the pyramids of Giza and how they're not really perfect. So any alien intervention, wouldn't there be this unbelievable, undeniable perfection? Being that they are so sophisticated? No, bro, it's no. Listen, right now, if you took a string and a rope, I could take you on a field, and if you wanted to set up a sundial for you to get for you to do what do you call it? Have electricity from the sun, we can point your house directly from the eastern point to the western point, not only with a compass, but with a string. We could take a string, stick it in the ground. Where that string goes, we follow that line. That takes you perfectly due west. Unbelievable. But that's how the premise of this whole thing started. There's no scientific crazy thing about it.
Okay,
And yes, the Bible is something that is just a bunch.
Dude, we're talking about
It's a
20
bunch of
different things
stories
and we
put
can't say
together by
nothing.
people.
Bible, Jimmy.
Nobody can say nothing.
That's another episode. Go ahead.
Oh, once again, man, like I'm just gonna go for what B-Rap said because I was trying to listen to him and hear what he was saying, but it's a lot of information, that's out there, and in a sense, it's some information that's hidden from us, like like you said, the Bible's for another thing, but even with the Bible, I just want to say one thing with the Bible is that the Ethiopian Bible was the first Bible before Christianity. Right. And then another thing I want to say is that in Africa right now, right, in Ghana, a lot of Africans are going back into these museums taking their shit because it's being led. The information is wrong with what they're saying. Right. And to sit and say that people are not getting paid or for taking other people's shit and then giving them history on it, telling history on it is wrong because it is the other side of the coin. There is another side of the coin. So my thing is that once again, I tell everybody to do your own information.
Man, I wish I could hear you. I'm so sorry. I can't hear a word you're saying.
If you can, it's okay.
It's
just
like,
don't say nothing.
Mook, I'm getting bounces.
If you can, just don't say nothing. Just let it keep going, so you don't interrupt nobody. So we could just have our last word.
What? Shut up, man. Interrupt somebody. Shut the hell up. You're a jerk for saying that, man. You're a jerk for saying that, bro.
I didn't even say nothing bad.
You know what you just said. That's your thing. You don't know what I just said. You know what I mean? I don't get you, bro. You're in outer space, man. That's what you are.
Listen. I know that you for comedy.
I've been listening to you. Hear me saying anything?
You just interrupted me. I didn't even, you just interrupted me. I didn't even say nothing to you. You got the problem.
No, you got a problem, brother. You're the one with the problem, not me. Believe me.
All right, we're not getting into that because I'm just end it right now then because I was trying to
Yeah,
get the last
because
word.
like I'm trying to be real cordial because if we had this discussion,
But bro,
it wouldn't be like this,
bro,
dude.
all I
Let's just
said was
stop.
I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. And you said, well, if you keep your mouth shut and let it play out, what do you say that to somebody? You keep your mouth shut or make sense.
I'm actually talking. You're not. I'm trying to talk and say
Yeah, but
something.
is there something wrong with me saying I can't hear you? I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
You're the only person
Mook,
saying it.
Mook, I think it's time to end this, bro.
We've been trying to end it. You keep cutting everybody off.
All right.
Bro, you
Mr.
hear this guy?
Science
You
Man
hear
that
this
know
guy?
everything.
I don't want to
Next
hear
week.
another word. I don't want to hear
Then
nothing
get
you said.
off.
Gotta say.
Then get
I don't want to hear
off.
nothing you gotta say.
Because you ain't
Peace out.
saying
Love
nothing.
all
Get
y'all.
off.
You get off, bro.
We out.
You get off.